Y'all already know what time it is. It is time for the mess. What's going on, you guys? It's me, your boy Scotty by Nature TV. We're here for another episode of Yes for the Mess, and we're here to talk about Keyshia Cole and Ashanti. So let's get right on into the mess. Now, as you guys know, last night it was the long-awaited, at one point much anticipated, Verzuz battle between Ashanti and Keyshia Cole. There were people planning parties for it. There were people just ready to sing their hearts out to these songs that we used to love back when most of us was in middle school and in high school. Ashanti pretty much solidifies my life from 7th grade year all the way till college. And Keyshia Cole solidifies my life from basically 10th grade on up. Okay, so I was looking forward to seeing this. First things first, Ashanti called COVID-19. She found out she had COVID-19 maybe days before the original date was supposed to come. So they pushed it back to 2 weeks later. Then we come back 2 weeks later, there's still no date. And then we finally get a date, and it was yesterday, which was Thursday, which was a school night, which was a night that most of us wouldn't dare be trying to watch no Verzuz on. But we had it there. So, first of all, they started late as fuck. Okay, like the show didn't really start until over an hour, and Keyshia Cole came in with a goddamn attitude, and that weak ass attitude of hers kind of knocked the energy off. We were all wondering what the hell was her issue. We all said that there was some problems going on, but another thing is the sound was bad, the audio was bad, the Wi-Fi was bad, everything was good on Ashanti's end, but Keyshia, you could barely hear her, you could barely hear her records being played, and I just was completely disappointed. It was probably the worst Verzuz I have ever watched, but I still got my life from the songs that were played, because when they played certain songs, I was like, bitch. When I heard I Remember, when I heard Trust and Believe, when I heard I Changed My Mind, like when I heard Baby, when I heard Foolish, when I heard Rock With You, like when I heard Rain On Me, all these songs that took me back to when I was a teenager. Like when I heard all those songs, it really, took me away from the fact that this is a ghetto mess. It ain't working right at all, but it is what it is. So even Ashanti and Keyshia even kind of had a small little spat after the intermission. You know what I mean? Like the energy was just bad all around. Like people were talking about Monica and Brandy's energy, but no, that energy was everything. This energy was not good at all, and we talked about it just a tad bit on Jay Lee's live last night. Shout out to Jay Lee's Corner. It was myself, Josiah, and Bundy Blue. We were all on Jay Lee Corner's live talking about the Verzuz, and even talking about potential Verzuz that we will want to see. So if y'all haven't seen that, go ahead and watch it. It's on Jay Lee Corner's channel. That, if I'm not mistaken, that video is almost at 9,000 people. So if you ain't seen it, you better go see it now. But yeah, so now after all of that, I look at the Jasmine brand while I was at work. It's an article on the Jasmine brand. And apparently, Keyshia Cole's DJ decided to set the record straight as to what really happened with Keyshia Cole and everything else. So I have an audio that I'm going to play for you guys. Y'all already know whenever I have anything to talk about on Yes for the Mess, I always have to cite my sources. And my source is thejasminebrand.com for today's story. So let's get into the audio that I'm about to play.
J-Mac here last night, Verzuz battle. Ashanti versus Keyshia Cole. Now J-Mac, our resident DJ. Go DJ High C. Family. He's Keyshia Cole's DJ. And we got to clear up what was going on last night.
Morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning?
We doing good, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Verzuz, man.
Hey, listen, you did your thing. Listen.
Yeah.
I know everybody was upset that Keyshia Cole was late last night. Her energy was a bit off.
Hey, man, it was, it started out weird, man. Just, stuff that y'all don't see behind the scene, not to say nothing about Verzuz or anything like that, but the show started, we didn't get to start on time, of course, everybody know that. But then on Keyshia's defense, I can truly say that she didn't want to come out because her screen was blurry. On her end, her screen was blurry, and she was like, she was there on time. I was there, I seen everything. She was there but she didn't want to come out on, because the screen was blurry and stuff wasn't right. We couldn't hear their side.
And J-Mac here.
Their side. So there was a lot of technical stuff going on in there,
See, and this is what I like, because a lot of people get mad at Keyshia without knowing the background of what really happening.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you being from Houston and a voice that we truly trust can give us that backstage perspective.
Because I will say, the energy, I was like, what's going on?
Yes, her
Keyshia's energy is not like this.
Because she's a perfectionist, and when stuff don't go the right way, it's downhill from there. I can say that. And that's just the truth. And so she was already upset about it being pushed back like it was anyway, but just COVID, and then so the build up, and it made her have to push her record back, so that was big on her brain. But it just threw her energy off. But I did the best I could to try to bring her back, but by that time she was already upset. My stuff blurry, it ain't right, so
Verzuz gotta do better.
You gotta tell us one thing, and I looked at your Instagram later, but OT Genesis, how did that happen?
Well, I was sitting in the studio, and then he walked in. I was like, "Oh, snap!" And then I said, "I guess they must have made up. But for them to do that, that says a lot. Because Keyshia don't, Keyshia, she don't play, man. For her to do that, I was like, that."
Okay, so that's the audio from a Houston DJ who was also Keyshia Cole's DJ during the Verzuz last night. Now, here's my opinion on the situation. Listen, I understand. As a person that's a perfectionist himself, I totally understand where you're coming from. If things aren't right, if things aren't the way that I need it to be, I'm really going to get pissed off about it. So I totally understand where Keyshia is coming from. However, when it comes down to the come down, let me just say this. No, Jamar and I are not on the same level as a Keyshia Cole or an Ashanti. We'll probably never be on the same level as them because we're not musicians. We're media personalities. We're social media influencers, so we're not the same. However, as of late, we've been doing a lot of interviews on StreamYard. Sometimes the audio was fucked up on StreamYard. Sometimes we can't hear. Sometimes the cameras can get a little bit frozen. And sometimes people will accuse you of it being your Wi-Fi and things of that nature. Like, there's a lot of technical issues that we have when we do our interviews with people and stuff. And a lot of the times we could easily just give up and say we're not going to give it to the people. But at the same time, and we've been sitting up here promising and promoting this shit, that we're going to go ahead with imperfections and all and work it and freak it the best way that we possibly can. When we did that interview with Troy and Dominique from Chasing Atlanta, baby, that interview started off rough. First of all, we had to push it back a whole 35 minutes back, and then when we finally got ready to do the interview, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like the audio started messing up from the very beginning, and we could have easily said, fuck it, we're not going to do it. But being that we're here for the people that support us and the people that watches our stuff and people that support our platform, we wanted to go ahead and get it on out there. Regardless, sometimes you just have to bite that bullet and try to do whatever you can to make it work. I know that when my camera stopped working, I didn't want to do any videos at one point in time. Before Uriel, shout out to him, blessed me with the camera that I've been having for the last 4 years, I was doing videos from my cell phone. And I didn't want to do my videos from my cell phone. I wanted to edit and do everything else and all that. But I had to do what I had to do to give the content to the people. So Keyshia Cole, regardless of what's going on, regardless of you being a perfectionist, sometimes you just got to bite that bullet and come out for the people. Because we'd rather you had come out with all these imperfections instead of you having us wait an hour for you to come out. And on top of that, without an apology, you didn't even apologize to us as fans. You know what I mean? At least with me and Jamal, we interview people, we apologize to the people that's watching if we're late. We apologize to the people about the audio messing up. But sometimes that part can be a little bit frustrating because the audio really don't be our fault at all, but people blame us for it, and it's not even our fault. It's StreamYard. It is what it is. You never know with StreamYard, but that's another story. But however, I get where Keyshia Cole's frustration comes from, being a perfectionist, but at the same time, you just got to bite that bullet and keep it pushing, baby. That's what you got to do. You in this game, you've been in it for a long time, you know how this goes. What do you guys think? What do you suggest? Please leave it below. Leave your opinions below, and I'll holler at y'all on the next video. With that being said, y'all, this has been a long day. I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to work at 4. My mother also had surgery today. She had a hernia disc in her back. She had to get that shit removed, and now she's back home. So I've been having a long ass day. So now I'm trying to catch up on all my content that I probably missed over the last 2 days. With that being said, you guys, I'm out here to my next video. I'll talk to you guys later. Follow me on all my social media, which will be at the bottom, and I'm out. Peace out.